Hi, welcome to our Science Grade 9 reproduction website where you will learn about how reproduction works and our chicken in a cup experiment. This is our home page, and here at the bottom, down here, it just has some pictures of life. It welcomes you to our website. And at the bottom, it has some information on cells, animal and plant cells, just to give you a review in case you've forgotten. It has some links here to websites that give some more information. So that's it for our home page. Now we'll go on to our chickens page. One second, there we go. So this first paragraph just briefly tells how the reproduction process naturally occurs in a chicken. And next is some information, sources of information for how we went through with our chicken in a cup experiment. And down here, and here are some links to each of the websites. And then down here is a list of the functions of the egg parts, just so that we would know how we would supplement these in our artificial culture vessel. And then down here is more information about the experiment that was used in the lab report. Here's just a list of the materials and the procedure. We didn't use all of the methods in the lab report, just because we wanted to change some things and didn't have all the resources that the people in the lab report did. And then at the bottom is just a picture of the culture vessels used in the lab report. So now let's move on to sexual and asexual reproduction. This just gives you some basic information on the two types of reproduction and the pros and cons of each. Down here in the asexual reproduction section, it has the different types and just gives you some information and examples on each of them. Now we'll move on to the updates and the blog. First, it talks about some errors that occurred during this project, and then the hypothesis, materials, and the procedure that we used, which is a bit different from the lab report again. And then it has some pictures of the culture vessels that we used for the experiment, and some observations that we had with qualitative and quantitative data. And then there's just some videos that we used for our project that our teacher recorded. One of them has a video of the heart beating in the egg, so that's pretty cool. Then at the bottom, well, down here is the conclusion, which just the conclusion of the experiment and what we could do better if we ever did this lab again. And then there's just, again, the procedure, what we did on each of the days, with some pictures to help you understand what we did and the process. And then down here is the incubator, a picture of the incubator that we made. You can see the culture vessels in there. And now we'll move on to the cell cycle. Now in the cell cycle, we have the stages of the life of the cell and how they reproduce. So here it just gives some brief information on each of the stages, and then it goes into further information on each of them, including the 4 stages of mitosis, right here. Now we'll move on to the DNA. On this page, it just tells us the parts that make up DNA and the chromosomes, including some pictures right here and here. And then, so the chromosomes leads into the genes, and then the genes lead into the mutations. Just talks about positive, negative, and neutral mutations. And now we also have a separate page for mutations, which just goes into further detail and has some examples of gene mutations and talks about the addition, deletion, and substitution, which affects the genes. And then we have the causes of the mutations, which are the mutagens, and then correcting mutations and the current methods that are being used, and also technologies that are being developed to help mutations. And now we'll move on to the references page, which just has the sources of information that we used, which are cited and put into alphabetical order. Now we'll move on to the assisted reproductive technologies. Assisted reproductive technologies just help infertile couples have children. And the first paragraph just talks a bit about the causes of infertility and how they may be corrected. And then I had some examples of assisted reproductive technologies and just talks about how each of them work. And yeah, so that's it, and I thank you for watching, and I hope you enjoyed our video.